Jim Rex? What's Jim Rex? Would you believe a movie audience guide presented as a public service by this theater's management to help you select your motion picture entertainment? Well, that's what it is. And we urge you to learn these rating symbols and use them as a guide for you and your family. G means suggested for general audiences, all ages. M, suggested for mature audiences, parental discretion advised. R, restricted, persons under 16 not admitted unless accompanied by parent or adult guardian. X, persons under 18 will not be admitted. This seal in advertising indicates that the film was approved under the Motion Picture Code of Self-Regulation.
It all began with a curse from the grave.
The evil you did this day will be avenged.
A curse of the dead hand. The dead hand that crawls, creeps, and kills. The dead hand that lives. And now the screaming starts. For them and for you. They're coming your way. They'll be here soon. Will you be ready?
You asked me to notify you if any more of the cattle were killed. Larry Ludicky just called, and he's had it with these killings.
Well, it's not coyotes.
Wolves, maybe.
Yeah, maybe. Starting last month, some cattle were killed. They belong to Larry Ludicky. Now he's been killed.
And you know who did it?
No. And it's not a who, it's a what. I think something is causing domestic dogs to pack and attack people.
Don't mind
As the president of this college, you have the responsibility of the lives of everyone here. 2 people have been killed already. One of them a student.
By what? It's terrible, yes, but you have no evidence it was done by dogs.
The hell is that?
What's that noise?
Let's get out of here.
It happened once. It could happen again. It could happen where you live. Will you be ready for dogs? Come face to face with your fears. Come face to face with tales that witness madness.
Tiger, tiger, burning bright in the forests of the night. I love that one.
You've tried everything you know how to keep them to yourself, but you still haven't made it, have you? You're threatened by a tiger.
Come face to face with terror beyond your wildest nightmares. Enter an asylum from which you may never escape. Leave all your sanity behind. It can't help you now.
Mamalu.
Quick, somebody get the fire brigade.
Can destroy it. I will destroy it. And you. Now do you believe it? Thank God you've seen it. It has to be seen to be believed.
Tales that witness madness. It's enough to drive you out of your mind into your grave.
The most terrifying form of evil is that which lurks within the human mind. Asylum. The ultimate in horror.
This is an asylum for the incurably insane.
Asylum filled with stark, raving terror. Psycho. Asylum. The prison of madness where few enter and none return. Asylum. You have nothing to lose but your mind.
from Texas. The shocking story of a madman who roars out of Texas and sends a beautiful young girl's dreams down the drain.
No. No, Mr. Willis. Not Steve. He wouldn't. He wouldn't.
Connie, I think we'd better call Sheriff Peterson.
Oh, my God.
How about another beer? You know, I don't know why you won't dance. Certainly not because you're running your ass off waiting on customers.
I just don't want to dance, okay?
All right, Steve, hold it or I'll shoot. I said hold it!
Now, bitch, let's dance.
Hurting? Hurting, Kale. Killed better than him for less than that.
Don't you go telling me how to handle my work. Get lively. Come on. Get up. Get lively. Come on. Take it up. Get lively.
Bastard!
Psycho from Texas. A real hellraiser roars out of Texas and sends a whole town into shock. See it. It's a shocker.
You have only one life to live, or do you?
Marcia, I didn't mean what I said back there.
That voice must belong to the man that I was.
I didn't know what I was saying.
I must be the man playing tennis in those dreams, driving that car, swimming in that lake.
Now you're telling me you've been reincarnated.
Right.
Take it from me. When you're dead, you're dead.
Suppose you knew who you had been in a previous life.
What is this, some kind of a joke or something? You've signed the name of the deceased, Jeffrey Curtis.
Where you had lived.
Mrs. Curtis, the old lady who lives here. She's been away for years.
Whom you had loved.
That was my husband, Jeff. He died a long time ago.
I know.
How you had died.
No, Marcia! No!
What then? The reincarnation of Peter Proud. The best-selling novel is now an electrifying motion picture.
Who are you, Peter Proud?
If I tried to explain, you'd probably think I was insane.
Look, you are a one-man revelation.
Of all the people in the world, Sam, why me?
The reincarnation of Peter Proud. The story of a man's obsessive search for a prior existence.
I know I've been here before.
Jeff, she thinks you're her son.
The reincarnation of Peter Proud, starring Michael Saracen and Jennifer O'Neill.
Who are you, Peter Proud?
Will give you second thoughts about a second life.
Because I was there.
Marcia, no.
Because I was there. What is the outer limit of fear that drives a man to the point of terror?
To be somebody. It's all I've ever wanted. And I'll do anything to get it.
This is what I am, and what I'll always be.
And what drives a man from
point of terror and into the arms of his mistress's daughter.
Where's Helene?
Sleeping. Mother, if you can stand the shock of the dark side of fear, you must see Point of Terror.
What happened was true. The most bizarre and brutal series of crimes in America. This is the movie that is just as real, just as close, just as terrifying as being there. Even if one of them survives, what will be left? The Texas Chainsaw Massacre. After you stop screaming, you'll start talking about it.
When Satan goes wild, so does the night child.
Only this way will we always be together.
Possessed into the darkest kind of evil. Once the devil takes hold, every man take cover from the night child.
The woman. Burning. I never did like the old lady. Sometimes I can read people's minds. Michael, you're in mortal danger.
One day, she was an innocent little girl. One night, she became something else.
Stop it!
And God help us all. Keep saying to yourself, she's just a child. She's just a child.
I love her, and she scared me to death.
This is the child of hell. Beyond the darkness, beyond the devil. Watch out for the night child.
Everyone has a secret nightmare about the ugliest way to die. Whatever yours may be, now it lives.
What are you yelling about?
People. Little people!
If you take them in, you'll be taken in. Because there is no way to survive the devil times 5.
What about those kids?
You've got to be kidding. Whatever you think they are, they're not. Whatever you think they won't do, They will.
What are they?
They're piranha.
You mean you feed those little babies to those big ugly things?
Here, you want to feed them?
Not since Village of the Damned has death become so brutal or survival so hopeless.
You such a bitches! Leave her alone! Leave her alone!
One by one. Body by body. Death will come in its most dreaded form. They bring their own omen. And it is written in blood. The devil times 5 leaves nobody alive.
It was a violent summer storm. Millions of volts slashed the earth.
That was the worst storm we've had since I was knee-high to a duck.
Folks talked about it and started getting things back to normal. When Mick hit town for his vacation.
Well, it's straight ahead about 5 miles.
But things weren't normal. There were changes.
Mother bit me. I never saw him bite like that.
Strange, frightful changes. That night, it all started.
Stop doing that.
I'm not doing anything.
This was the night of the crawling terror. American International presents Squirm. They came from everywhere. Millions of writhing, seething creatures oozing out of the mire to feed on human flesh. You sweat, but you don't dare move. Grips every nerve in your body. You want to scream, but you can't. Your heart beats so fast, it feels like it's going to burst.
Jerry? They're dead!
Squirm, a new experience in pure fright.
Coming soon to this theater, a ghastly, ghoulish, and totally incredible motion picture. The Werewolf versus the Vampire Woman. This is Wandesa, queen of the vampires and Satan's favorite mistress. Werewolves and vampires will reign supreme, and things will happen that have never been seen by human beings. Your blood will boil and your flesh will crawl. No one can escape the vampires, and no one can run from the werewolves. If you can take it, see the most sensational fight to the finish ever filmed. See the werewolf versus the vampire woman.
That it could happen in America. That it could happen now. That it could ever happen to me. Another murder tonight. At Watergate. My apartment.
You must issue the order that he be taken alive.
The moon hasn't risen yet. Put a guard on me.
Magnificent. You've never seen anything till you've seen the sun through the rings of Saturn.
Astronaut Stephen West was returning from outer space. But something terrible had happened.
Remember now, his mind is so completely decomposed.
We've got to find him.
He's going to need human cells to live on.
Stephen West had turned into the incredible melting man.
And the more he kills, the longer he's going to live. He seems to be getting stronger as he melts.
The incredible melting man is the first new horror creature. Come prepared.
What lovely music for a murder, or 2, or 3, or 9.
Who's this?
Ladies and gentlemen, I want you to meet a dear friend.
9 killed you. 9 shall die. Your wife, no 5s. But you I will kill.
But you can't, Doctor. I am already dead.
Here, how are we going to get him off this? You take his head, and I'll take his feet. Let's unscrew him.
Dr. Vibes, who samples the finer things of life in his own inimitable way, and experiments with fascinating instruments of death.
The what, sir? The guitar. The 10 curses visited upon the pharaohs before Exodus.
9 shall die, 9 eternities in doom.
The curse of boils, of bats.
Frogs?
Of frogs, yes. And the curse of blood. Curse of hail in the bloody middle of nowhere.
Are you ready for Dr. Five?
Probably the most terrifying motion picture you'll ever see.
There have been films about earthquakes, airplane disasters, and blazing infernos. But there has never been anything like The Devil's Reign.
That wasn't your father.
What's his face?
Mother? Mother! Come back! Damn you!
They had no faces.
The Devil's Reign. The 300-year search for the power to damn mankind is over. And the towering terror of the devil on earth is now unleashed. Souls held captive in an eternity of hell.
Seize him!
Possessed by the devil.
You, my son, have defiled all that is holy.
Mother, my God, my God!
They become his worshippers and his demons. Reign, starring Academy Award winner Ernest Borgnine, Eddie Albert, William Shatner, Keenan Wynn, and Ida Lupino as Mrs. Preston, and with the special participation of Anton LaVey, High Priest of the Church of Satan. The Devil's Reign, conceived by the producer of A Man Called Horse, created by the masters of magic of Planet of the Apes. Together, they bring you a melting hell on Earth, and absolutely the most incredible, unforgettable ending of any motion picture ever. Heaven help us all when the devils reign.
In heaven and on earth beyond the comprehension of man. Call them what you will. The occult, witchcraft.
Satan! Behold thy supplicant!
Devil worship.
Rise and come in, child. Enter forget another lifetime. The brotherhood of Satan.
from getting in or out of Hillsborough for the last 3 days.
26 people slaughtered in a little over 72 hours. 6 families wiped out. All those kids missing.
A story of contemporary family witchcraft in California.
Witches. Black artisans, celebrants of the Black Mass. Each missing child was in a specific age group from 6 to 9.
Come in, children.
Not your baby, our baby, Satan's baby!
The Black Mass, the blood sacrifice, the unholy ritual. It's all here, as a coven of witches holds a California town in the grip of terror.
Satan, help us!
Enter death's waiting room, if you dare. Below the crypt lies the vault of horror, a treasure chest of the macabre, madness, voodoo, vampires, torture, and terror. All the things that make life worth living.
That's how it is. And how it always will be.
The Vault of Horror.
To Dr. Zhivago comes a totally new motion picture experience. A journey into the bizarre, terrifying world of the psychosexual mind. Saturates the screen with terror.
I've called you here today for a good reason. What you have here are fragments of...
Is one of these students a psychosexual killer?
...barbarously murdered just 1 week ago.
Or are they just playing erotic games? Not so innocent erotic games. Eager to test the limits of pleasure. A killer is stalking.
Well, that's a real good start. Why don't hang-ups come my way? Honey, even if you're queer or impotent, you're paying the price I charge just the same.
A psychosexual killer is stalking.
Spying on us. Sean, wouldn't we care if he was? Come back, Sean.
A killer who takes his pleasure differently. gripping motion picture about a killer's perverted hunger aroused to an animal frenzy. It saturates the screen with terror.
You have been found guilty of one of the vilest of crimes.
I am a doctor, you know.
I have decided to extend my leniency to its limits by only sentencing you to be committed to the state asylum for the criminally insane for a period of 5 years.
I knew you couldn't give up your work completely. And you haven't.
If I succeeded this time, then every sacrifice will have been worthwhile.
Frankenstein, creator of man. If everything could be reborn, unblemished, if a new version of his true self could be created, huh? In the normal way, by mating. But who with? Sarah.
Joel Delaney will conjure up your light.
Who is in possession of Joel Delaney?
There's a whole supernatural city around us here. Spiritist churches, espiritismo seances, summoning the dead, bookeria, witchcraft.
We know all about Joel Delaney.
Joel, answer me. Are you there? Joel?
You know how Joel is when his dark side showed. You tried to attack a man, Joel.
Believe me, I don't remember any of that.
All of a sudden, here we have a case
just like 3 others we had last summer. Where's Mr. Delaney? Where is he, Mrs. Benson?
That the people in my world can't get into your world, that no one will talk to them. But are you willing to accept and believe what you're told? Are you going to listen?
Who is in possession of Joel Delaney?
But you have to believe. I feel that you don't believe. And you have to believe.
Are you trying to tell me that my brother is so weak and so vulnerable that he can be invaded from the outside by a maniac who is dead? I'm going now!
You must believe the possession of Joel Delaney.
Welcome to Aunt Martha's King Edward Hotel. Hardly anyone ever checks in. Nobody ever checks out.
What gave you the idea to come here? I don't know what you're looking for, but you won't find it here. Now, I'm letting you stay here on one condition, that you promise not to wander around the hotel alone. This is no place for a little girl.
Sure, all right.
Mrs. Quigley, this is my niece, Cheryl. She's staying with us for a while.
Behind each door, there's a private terror. And at the heart of each terror are the private parts. Follow Cheryl as she leads you through the darkest corridors of your mind. Private parts.
Aunt Martha, who lives in the room next to mine?
Nobody. It's a storage room. Why do you ask?
Well, I heard noises in there.
Well, who have we here?
You robbed me of a normal childhood, and now you're trying to rob me of whatever little pleasures I can still enjoy.
Hey, what's going on?
Please, it's all right. Just lie still.
Cheryl? Cheryl?
My dear child, let me. I have to. It won't hurt.
Don't be angry, child.
It's spilling.
I'm only trying to protect you.
This is a lovely one.
Alice, is that you, sweetie?
You will come back, won't you? In cases like yours, instruction is most important.
Don't go, child. You know, it's not too late for you.
Alice?
You can stay here and be my son.
Your son?
Yes, you could have this room.
I have to. Don't be like Alice.
I'd never know what you'd do behind my back.
Welcome to Aunt Martha's King Edward Hotel. Hardly anyone ever checks in. Nobody ever checks out.
Since Alfred Hitchcock's Psycho has a motion picture probed the uncontrollable passions of the mind's darkest corridors with the violent realism of Love Me Deadly.
Don't cut me!
Doomed to love only the dead. In this shocking film, you will witness the never-before-seen blood-curdling rites of the lovers of the dead.
Don't ask us who we are or where we come from. Our only purpose is death. Now one after the other. The rest of you will die. There will be darkness, damnation, and a meaningless death.
We know your secret. We read your mind.
You can never run from it. You can never hide from it. The breath-stopping panic of seizure. Rated PG.
This is where the worst begins. This is where we must stop. For beyond is the work of madness. The nightmare of insane murder and lingering death. Deranged. For Mary, it was only the beginning. For Christine, it was already too late. For Dolly, the worst was yet to come. And only Mrs. Cobb knew what he would do next.
I really love you, Mary.
Sometimes you don't want to believe what you see, but sometimes it's true. The story of a trail of butchery so brutal that newspapers refuse to print its horrifying details. When the horror becomes unbearable, it is too late to scream.
All around her, people are dying, and only Rose knows why.
You gotta come quick. You gotta come quick and get me.
It's Rose. It's gotta be. Something's happened to Rose.
Health officials closed the plant. Local officials have said they consider the outbreak of the new strain of rabies as being potentially the worst of this century.
Don't scream. Don't panic. He's dead, and the dead can't hurt the living. Rabid.
The Prime Minister was reluctant to officially declare a state of emergency, but as any citizen in the streets can tell you, martial law has come to Montreal.
Over that way, please. Get that gun. I'm sorry, sir. You can't go right through. I'm sorry, sir. You don't have a card now, please.
Shooting down the victims is as good a way of handling them as we have got.
You can't trust your mother. Your best friend. The neighbor next door. 1 minute, they're perfectly normal. The next, rabid. Pray it doesn't happen to you. Rabid.
season. Prepare to have the stuffing scared out of you. Thanksgiving. In the town of Plymouth, Massachusetts, the fourth Thursday in November is the most celebrated day of the year. The table is set. The festivities have begun. When uninvited guests have arrived, and this year, there will be no leftovers. Thanksgiving. White meat, dark meat, all will be carved. Thanksgiving.
Come on, Judy, how about it?
Happy Thanksgiving, baby.
Thanksgiving.
Cool it, Judy. You're safe. Bobby's here. It's blood. Son of a bitch.
Arrive hungry.
Happy Thanksgiving, Grandma.
Leave stuff. From Rector Eli Roth. Thanksgiving. You'll come home for the holidays in a body bag.
If you are thinking of going into this house, don't. If you are thinking of opening this door, don't. If you are thinking of checking out the basement, don't look behind. Don't look in there. Don't look up. Don't look anywhere. Don't scream for help. Don't move a muscle. Don't even breathe. Don't. If you are thinking of seeing this film alone, don't. Rated R.
You shall pay, Black Prince. I curse you with my name. You shall be Blackula.
Blackula. The Black Avenger. Rising from his tomb to fill the night with horror. Blackula. Dracula's soul brother. Deadlier even than he.
You know, he is a strange dude.
You're the nut that ran in front of my cab. You're the only imbecile on this street. Boy.
Blackula.
Look at man, you find, she's got to be around here somewhere. Now listen, well, you take your hands off of me. I don't know you.
He thirsts for your blood. He hungers for your soul. Warm young bodies will feed his hunger. Hot, fresh fresh blood will quench his awful thirst.
Make it a Bloody Mary. Are you, into the occult?
No!
How about the, heavy stuff?
What do you think of vampires?
Vampires? I think they're possibly the most fascinating of all.
More horrifying than Dracula. The Black Avenger. Blackula. From American International Pictures.
Who dares touch these rotting bones? Who dares call forth the most horrible specter of the damned? Now he's back. The Black Prince of Darkness, Blackula, recalled by the awesome powers of voodoo to stalk the earth in a new quest for blood. Blackula, Dracula's soul brother, seething with hate, obsessed with vengeance, craving young bodies, lusting for hot blood to create new victims for the legions of the undead.
And with evil vampires. Good. That gives you something of an edge over the rest.
William Marshall, again, as the Lord of the Vampires, in a relentless search for Pam Grier, the exciting star of Coffee.
I need you!
Now he is back. Ever more evil, ever more fearful than ever before. Scream, Blackula, scream. The bloodiest legend of our time.
I have seen the dark shadows moving in the woods, and I have no doubt that whatever I have resurrected through this book is sure to come calling for me.
It was the woods themselves. They're alive, Ashley.
I fear that the only way to stop those possessed by the spirits of the book is through the act of bodily dismemberment.
I don't care what happens to her. She's your girlfriend. You take care of her.